brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Welcome, everyone. This is another Suds segment where some of our co-hosts still think coronavirus is that feeling you get after drinking a skunky beer.
I got the Rona.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Too much. It's that clear bottle.
It is that clear bottle. Yeah.
What started it all?
Darn them.
Stanky.
Well, joining me today at the table is good old boy Dave.
Can you dig it?
Yes, I can.
We can dig it,
I can.
especially today. Good old boy Kendall.
My name is Kendall. I'm a model. My favorite part of my body is my broad shoulders.
Oh, you do have broad shoulders.
I do have broad shoulders, yes.
That's awesome.
That's wonderful. Well,
Yes.
happy to be here, especially today.
Remember, point and turn.
Yes. Pinky up.
Good old boy Caperton. Hello.
Hi, everyone. This is Dave Caperton, and I am so excited.
Oh, what? Is that?
That's
is that,
new.
Is that the motivational guy? I have a doppelganger who speaks.
Slightly less
Wow.
cheerful than our
Who's
Caperton.
going to sue?
Is he?
who?
I haven't really checked him out. I do know that he hogs up the upper end of the Google search of my name. Yeah. He's an active dude. So
Okay.
anyway, that was great. That was unexpected, Dave.
Wow.
What'd he say? What did he
Is there a test at the
Hi,
end
everyone.
of
This
this
is Dave
intro?
Have and I am so excited.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm
Are
going to have
you
to work on
excited?
that guy. He sounds too uptight.
Good old boy Mike. Hi.
Greetings.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I think we just got sued.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's over.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. I
That's
know
sweet.
exactly where that lawsuit's going.
Okay. Well, in case you don't know, I'm good old Gal Juliana.
I'm the boss.
And
Yes.
I am the boss.
For sure.
Now, today, strap in, ladies and gents. We are going pinky up. In fact, we'd each go 2 pinkies up, but we keep spilling our beer. That would be a problem. Today is Tilquin Day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not some obscure European holiday. No, we're just drinking some of our favorite Belgian beer. But first, this Suds segment is brought to you by...
It's Sip Suds and Smokes, the video game. Play as your favorite good old boy or gal to start your collection of all the good things in life. Buy, sell, and trade beer, wine, spirits, and cigars to build the best seller ever. Play online against your friends, or do like good old boy Mike and just play with yourself. Sip Suds and Smokes, the video game. Download it today, absolutely nowhere.
So, good old boy Dave, give us some background on Gueuzerie Tilquin.
God, now I have to read. All right, here we go.
Oh, this should be entertaining.
Tilquin, or Gueuzerie Tilquin, as the French say it, is a Belgian lambic beer blendery based in Beerge, Brussels, Belgium. Founded in 2009 by Pierre Tilquin. Tilquin is the only lambic blendery in the mainly French-speaking, I bet that place is stuck up, southern region
Oh, Monsieur Pierre.
of Wallonia.
Ah, oui.
Tilquin
Home of
also
Saison.
is exclusively the only blendery that is allowed to make blends of 1, 2, and 3-year-old lambics with wort acquired from, get this, Bone, Lindemans, Jardine, and Cantillon, everybody. Man, that's pretty
Dum
good.
dum dum.
So they don't brew their own wort.
No.
Is the takeaway.
They just blend.
They take it and they work their magic.
Kind of like.
Would you call that like a goose squared? Since you did like the trifecta and using 1, 2, and 3 year lambic from 1, 2, or 3 different breweries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squared or cubed?
Exponentially.
Telling you.
It's a goose cube.
There you go. Hey, we said it first. That's all I'm saying.
Trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are the masters of these. Oh, I can't even say it.
There you
The
go.
cube.
Goose cube.
So
Say
bad.
goose cube.
We're so bad.
Okay. That
Wow,
was really cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Got
Good
it.
old boy Dave.
Perfectly right.
Yeah, perfectly
now I
right.
can't say English.
Your reading is getting better.
No.
I've been working on it.
Negative.
Been practicing on his reader.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
All right. Good old boy Kendall.
Hooked on phonics.
Give us today's amazing lineup.
It is an amazing lineup, and here I'm probably going to mispronounce half of these, but here we go.
Go
The
for it,
Gueuzerie
bro.
Tilquin beers we'll be tasting and discussing today are, well, this first word I want to explain. It's spelled O-U-D-E. Most Americans say oud, but I just saw a video of Mr. Linderman saying old, so I'm just going to go with that.
I just usually say Mike.
So we have Oude Gueuze Tilquin à l'ancienne, which is a 7% goose lambic. The Oude Quetsche Tilquin, a fruit lambic with purple plums at 6.4. The Oude Cassis Tilquin, 6.3 with black currants. The Oude Myrtille Sauvage Tilquin,
I went to church with a lady named Old Myrtle.
Old Myrtle. We'll never forget her.
6.6.
She let you pull her chin hairs.
She had a lambic-like smell about her, too.
Oh.
Slightly musty.
Yeah.
So
Little
Myrtle was
barnyardy.
she's a fan of the wild blueberries, so that explains that.
Yep.
So
Sauvage.
the Oude Mûre Tilquin, fruit lambic, 6.4% with blackberries. The Oude Pinot Gris Tilquin, obviously a Pinot Gris grapes lambic at 8.4%, and the Oude Pinot Noir Tilquin, 7.7% fruit lambic with Pinot Noir grapes.
The old Pinot Noir ain't what it used to be.
Sure ain't.
You never know.
It's a lot of old
I don't
beer.
know why I said
That's a
that.
lot of old beer.
That is.
I just agree with whatever Dave says.
like old beer.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
Thank you, good old boy Kendall. Now, good old boy Caperton.
Yes.
Would you mind reading the SUDS ratings for us today?
We will be discussing. I'm not going to do it. And rating these beers with the SUDS ratings, plus
a
our
sentence.
signature belching sounds.
Just put the word old into each of them.
Yeah, there you go. Old, that sucks.
Here are those ratings now. Old number 1. That sucks. Give me anything but a bud.
Old bud.
Old bud.
Old bud. Old number 2. Was that an old belch?
There you go.
A rating of 3. Ah, what an old relief. Number 4. An old body should not really make that sound.
So true.
This I can relate to.
And a rating of 5. Listen to that hang time. Give me an old another. Old another.
Why, thank you, sir. And now that you've got your vocal cords all loosened up,
Yes.
I think this would be a great time for a kudzu report.
Good. Sure.
Take it away.
All right. Listen up, folks. As I deliver this message, the world continues the fight against an unseen foe we all now know as COVID-19. We all hopefully wear our masks and distance ourselves physically from others and wash our hands no fewer than probably 500 or 600 times a day. But as all of this plays out on a world stage, an unseen green menace continues to wreak its destruction of the air we breathe, the areas we recreate in, and our delicate ecosystem. It's creepy, and it's not going to give up. So I'm talking about the slow motion invasion that we can see now, commonly known of course, as kudzu. Glad you guys are paying attention. I hope everyone is.
Put your kids inside.
So for the folks in the back, as we self-quarantine and shelter in place, we're presented with the perfect opportunity at this time to advance our battle lines and against the green invader. Rally your shovels, your rakes, your goats, and let's use our sudden abundance of unproductive time to take the fight to this noxious invasive vine. Let's use these tools to win that fight, fellow warriors. Use your shovels, your rakes, dig, pull, burn the enemy from the ground. Release the goats on the battlefield, and let's take back our green spaces now.
The goats.
Release the goats. Let's use this time to our tactical advantage and win this war once and for all.
I'm hearing little Lee Greenwood in the back of my head.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm hearing thousands of
Pick
goats.
up your shovels, warriors. It's up to us. And that's all I've got for you this week. The opinions of good old Boy Caperton are his own and do not necessarily reflect those of deadbeats.
Wow.
That was the first one in a while, so it went a little long, but I was worked
Yeah,
up.
I just want to say we're doing our part.
I need a handkerchief.
We
and
are.
and a fresh suit now.
Fresh suit.
Yeah, sweat this one through.
So when you're fighting kudzu, I mean, what do you have to wear? You know, do you have to get like a hazmat suit?
Well, Mike, I don't want to brag, but a lot of us go, sort of commando out there.
Commando.
All natural.
So you're saying that the au naturel odor de
They don't-
perfume.
The vine doesn't expect it.
So you're like sneaking up.
It's deception.
So you're
You know
saying
what,
that it's
though?
like camouflage.
You're gonna
right?
do
Deception.
that. You better be careful when
Gotta
you got
use
your
every tool we've
You
got,
got your weed
literally.
whackers out there. You better
Use
be
all
careful
your
if you're doing
tools.
it.
Works
Mike.
with chicks in double wide trailers too, right?
Yeah.
You sneak up on them. Oh, natural, right?
That's right.
I got to work the word tool in one more time somehow.
You get like a royalty every time you say that.
I don't know, but you got to use them all. That's my point.
That's right. Bring the whole toolbox.
That's my point.
Oh, we will be back with some more banter after this brief interlude. Welcome back, everyone. So, today's episode is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going commando for this segment.
Hey, boy.
Okay.
Use
well,
all your
everyone,
tools.
everybody better drink more beer.
See, now I've
We're
shifted
gonna
my
need a bigger tool.
I've shifted my position. And actually, so Juliana is at my radio left today, and Caperton is at my radio right.
That's
so,
right.
And both of them are now 6.5 feet away from me.
And
so-
Juliana is just slowly migrating closer to Dave.
No one look
Shocking
under.
in itself.
No one look under the
Look,
table.
everybody has to have a plan, and I was inspired by the kudzu report. I just thought, yeah, you should go commando to bring it, be warrior.
I think he's saying this is a legendary episode. We got to.
When they said "bring it, Mike," they didn't mean that.
Okay.
Oh, well, but anyways.
Well, I know
okay.
what the name
Take
of
it
this
back. With you,
episode's going to be.
I'm with you.
So, if you guys
The
are
day
just
we all threw
joining us today, we are doing a brewery takeover
Toucan.
from Tilquin.
Tilquin.
I urge you all to look it up
Tilton.
online.
Oh, gosh.
Have the
14
internet machine
pronunciations.
pronounce it for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to sound like ignorant Americans.
Not that we,
Hey,
not that we
y'all
did
got that Tilcan bear?
Tilquin.
Yeah, it's
There's
like,
a wide array
like the bird,
of
like toucan bear. Yeah.
pronunciation.
There is. There is.
Tilquin.
But let's start with the one that probably was the first one that all of us have tried.
Sure.
And that's the goose.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is coming in at 7% ABV. It's a blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old lambics that are fermented in a bottle for at least 6 months. Oude, or old in Flemish, or l'ancien, I think, in French, is an appellation protected by the European Union and is restricted for traditional Belgian goose in a bottle.
They're fussy.
They are fussy.
Yeah, fussy about that.
So,
They smacked Americans down.
Well, it's like their one thing.
They have.
Yeah.
So
we won't go into that.
This is
Yeah.
a really interesting, advantage that I think that they get, being able to blend, from multiple breweries. And
Some of the best ones.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden you've expanded the palette of, products you get to work with, exponentially 4 times, I mean, I've got to believe, that some of these other breweries are kind of scratching their head going, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell some of the beers in this. I really get the bone, and they've got a huge capacity, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're using quite a bit more of that because I can't imagine they're using a lot of Cantillon.
Do you get the bone often?
Well,
yeah, whenever I drink it.
I guess I should.
But just think Cantillon
Only on
doesn't
his
have
birthday.
a huge production capacity, so they might be sharing some of their work, but I bet the blend's not completely equal in this.
Are they?
I doubt it,
I've
dude.
got
It can't be.
I don't know the answer to this question, but I assumed they were just getting wort from those guys, right?
Yeah,
and
they're
they were,
using their-
and they
their
were,
culture,
and they
I'm
were,
pretty sure.
and they were letting it spontaneously ferment. However, whatever their method is for that.
I don't know
I
about
could
that.
be
That
wrong.
way.
I could
Well,
be wrong.
Yeah, you know what? Because
I think-
if they're saying they're getting 1, 2, and 3 year old lambics,
Yeah.
so they're probably getting actual fermented.
Yeah, I don't think
I
they're
would guess.
getting just
I don't-
wort. I
I
think
don't-
they're getting
I don't
the
think it's been
beer is
inoculated. I think
Going,
it's
going into
just
the cool
wort.
ship right
Yeah.
after it's brewed. So I'm thinking they're using the
maybe.
bugs of those
Yeah.
individual
Right.
brewers.
Yeah, you guys
I
might
tried
be right.
blending some 1, 2, and 3 year old Bud Light a few months ago. I didn't get really good results. So
Well,
I'm thinking it really.
You got the best they had to offer, though.
I know.
That's what. Look
Which
at.
finger did you use to blend it with?
Yeah. On my toe.
I think without a doubt, what we all would agree on is that blending beer like this, blending lambic, creates a complexity that you can't achieve.
It's an art.
On its own, yeah.
Well, I love the skill and the artistry of the Tilquin Goose. It's just
crazy
It's
good.
really crazy good, and it really is showing off the skill that they have in blending, as opposed to and being able to get to use that expanded base of product that they get to work with to their advantage. So I love this. This is really great.
Another thing is it's an easily accessible goose.
Yes.
If you want to go out and find a bottle of Cantillon, you're probably not. But
Well-
you can find this nearly everywhere.
You can get it on draft.
My
you know?
all-time
Yeah.
favorite is limited edition Timmermans, and this is right there, just right next to it, because it's very approachable. It doesn't have this really heavy sour presentation up front. This is something you can serve with people that for the first time and say, "Have you ever had a goose?" And they'll go, "No." There you go. You know, yeah.
The sourness on all of these beers is very lactic. It's not acidic. It avoids that vinegar sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, all these other beers that
Harsh
we've
vinegar.
discussed, all these other lambics, they've all from time to time presented that way, right? I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
these guys are very refined. I'm going to say this is
Yeah,
very refined
very
goose,
much so. Just
no
that-
cheesiness, no blue cheese, not
No.
that those things are bad. It's just very smooth. I mean, it's just incredibly.
very approachable. So don't be afraid of the goose.
No.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those beers that there'll be one beer geek that'll be sitting at the table with you, and they'll order this because sometimes you'll even find this on tap.
Yeah.
And what'll happen is they'll go, "Hey, can I try that?" And somebody else will try it at the table,
And next thing you know,
and it's like, and everybody will order one right after that and I think part of it is just that's how a lot of people become exposed to a lot of sour beers in general, but I think definitely to they've never seen that word, and they're like, well, how do you say that? I don't even know what that beer is. Just say good, old good. There you go.
old good.
Old good beer.
Well, this old goose from Tilquin, we rated a 4.
Old Goose.
I'd say a high 4.
All right.
Is it just me? But so when I read that this is 7%, that's pretty high for a lambic, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't
They
taste
usually
it.
swing.
Ballpark.
They usually swing 5.5, right?
Six-ish, I would think.
I would say 5.5 up to 7.
There is a lighter version of this. It's a little bit lower ABV.
Oh, yeah, for the lake.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Goose Light.
In the can. In the can.
In the can, of course.
Dave, that
People-
was almost funny.
People like it. It's factual.
I amped it up a little, I thought.
Yeah. Everybody likes in the can. So
It tastes good, Commando.
Oh.
gross.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Warrior.
Let's go plumbing now.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely want
All
to
right.
talk about this next one.
Yes, let's go plumbing. Otherwise known as the Quetche?
Quiche.
Yeah, it's a quiche goose.
Okay.
Got a little
This
eggy.
is
Lorraine's favorite. Sorry.
Oh no! Cool.
Quiche
Cool.
Lorraine.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's just that's
Sorry.
great. This one is 6.4% ABV. It's a spontaneously fermented beer obtained from the fermentation of de-stoned, mind you, fresh purple plums and young lambics blended with 1, 2, and 3 year lambics to reach a final concentration of fruits of 260
kilograms.
No, it's GR. You know, and I'm thinking grams, but
think
I
when
don't
I looked
think
last night it was kg, but
kg.
maybe it's not.
Okay,
I
per
don't
liter.
know. I don't know. Something.
Kilograms per liter.
Oh no, it would be
No.
grams.
If it's per
grams
liter,
per
it'd be
liter.
grams per liter.
Okay.
That's a buttload of plums.
I just never seen GR. You know what I mean? Because I'm a
So
G or a KG.
they blended it and fruited it.
Yep. That's all I got to know.
That's the
It's got
process.
plums in it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's really
Really good.
gorgeous
Really
color.
rounds out, gives it a
There,
nice
too.
fruity flavor. Those plums change the character, the tartness,
Yeah.
tone it down a bit.
Yeah, I remember when this came out, and I was tasting some other lambics that had plum on them side by side. And the thing that I loved about this was, again, it's that same approachable aspect. So it has that base lambic beer that is so approachable. And your first, most of the time when you would see they're applying a plum to it, you would think, oh my God, this was sour. Dude, this is like sour. And that's not the case. This is really picked up on the floral component of the plum and, kind of the undertone of the fruit itself, the sugars that the plums are bringing. And it really hasn't taken this like down the sour path where it's like, this is undrinkable. In fact, quite the opposite. It's a great compliment.
I think part of that is the higher ABV, like that, because
What is this one?
it does
6.4.
6.4.
Yeah.
But that is sort of getting on the higher end for some of the bugs and stuff that do these.
True.
And so it doesn't eat as much of the sugars, so you still keep some of the sweetness.
But they also emphasize the de-stoned plums, and I'm wondering if somebody's using this, the plums with the pits, which might give you a little more tannic, a little more acidity.
Definitely a lot more bitterness for sure.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
bitterness. You just, and that sort of makes sense in that description. Like when I was tasting it and you said that, I was like, oh man, that's
So Kendall and I got to taste the pure jacked up version of this at Shelton Brothers in Denver. And it is, I think it was about 4 times the amount of plums.
Oh yeah.
That was in that version at
Were they
Shelton
super
Brothers.
fruited? Run it through a ram.
Let's just say that I know who was number 1 and number 2 in line when they cracked that keg.
Wow.
And I kept going back to that and grabbing samples of that like
was
every
beautiful.
30 minutes. Oh my gosh, it was such a great beer.
Was it plum delicious?
It was. It was probably one of my top 5 beers, of that Shelton Brothers festival.
to remember a beer from Shelton Fest sort of speaks volumes.
Yeah, you're right. In a room where everybody's bringing it, and for
every
you to
beer
say,
is
that
like
really caught my
exceptional. You have
attention.
like 60
Yeah.
world class
Yeah, and
beers.
the great thing is I feel like all the lambic freaks were at the Cantillon line, which was all the way around the building.
Yeah.
And the Tilquin line, you could generally just walk
Walk
up
right
and get
up,
what you
baby.
wanted.
Yep.
That's right. All
Which
day
is
long.
silly.
That's so sad. And plum is a very underrated fruit. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you know what I mean.
I love them. Yeah. I love 'em.
In terms of beers, but this one really shines.
And it does shine.
I can only imagine what the one is that you guys had at Shelton, Brett. In terms of flavor.
They're
but
both really awesome. This
is just gorgeous.
Sometimes when you catch a version of a beer that's like over the top good, it hangs with you for a long time.
Little hint of the barrel there, you know.
but just a little.
And you guys were talking about sugar. It's pretty dry to me. All of these beers are pretty
They
dry.
finish dry, yes.
for sure.
Yeah, but there's a nice little floral component that just lightens it just ever so slightly, and it's just gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yep.
So we rated the Quetche from Tilquin.
The plum.
Yeah.
The plum.
Yeah,
the
the
plum.
plum.
Yeah, we rated that a 4.
High 4.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Let's go into the black currant.
Okay.
Cassis.
Yes.
Cassis.
Talking about the cassis. This one is 6.3% ABV. It's a spontaneously fermented beer obtained from the fermentation of frozen black currants in young lambics blended with 1, 2, and 3 year lambics to reach a final concentration of 200 grams per liter of fruit. This is a different version from the experimental draft versions 1 and 2, as no Myrtille lambic was used to lower the ABV of the blend. This was served for the first time as a premiere at the, looks like the Belgian Beer Fest in 2019.
I bet that's a crappy beer fest.
Yeah.
And sold at the Blendery in September. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That it was able to come over here to the United States.
Yeah.
And we were able to find it.
They know
Beautiful color.
They know what's going on in America.
We haven't talked about the color
It
of
is
these beers
gorgeous.
yet. It's hazy, sort of.
Love this beer. And the thing that really captures my attention is that what it is not, and it is not overdone. This is again such another great example of just how great they're doing at blending and balancing. The base beer is still there, but this is one of those fruits that can get away from you, really quick. And there's several of these, even some of us have been involved, blending, those with some other breweries. And that's the really difficult part with Cassis is less is more, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be saying, oh my God, this is Cassis with beer. This is beer with Cassis.
For sure.
And you're wanting it to stay in check like that.
Yeah.
A lot of head nodding going around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's a little less tart than the previous versions ones we've had. I don't know if the fruit is doing that to it. Maybe giving a little sweetness, it balances out.
It's got a little more funk to it.
Yeah,
than the
a little
other
more
ones.
funk.
Yeah. So a little more.
Maybe a little more bone in the base, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Wow. Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
It's
hard to say.
I got no.
I'm not going to.
Drop the bass. Is trying to get the bone out.
Get the bone in the base, buddy.
It's a family show. Sort of. It's a family
Don't
beer
try it
show.
at home, kids.
But I
I'm
do think
talking about the brewery.
I think currants are one of the better fruits to use of this type of beer.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
this is such a fundamental tasting component to wine, and I'm a wine guy that's trapped in all these other things that we try. And so, when I think of Cassis, I'm thinking of usually the presentation of Cassis within wines, itself, and not just the basic fruit. And I think that's always what kind of throws me off when I'm having a fruited beer, with Cassis is. I'm really looking for other components that the wine would bring to the table. What does the, the alcohol presentation, and that the fruit itself is bringing along to it? Is it drying it out? Is it providing a balance of the bitterness that you would get from,
Or is it offering a
currant,
sweetness or conversely? Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, but this is definitely a beer you give a wine lover who says, I don't like beer.
Absolutely.
They would be happy.
All day long. Don't even tell them it's beer, Yeah, really screw with them.
It's just fizzy.
I don't know what
It's
this
a
is. Can you
sparkling.
tell me what
Yeah,
it is?
it's
Yeah.
a
fizzy
sparkling
wine.
I'd
Yeah.
love to do that.
Welcome to
just do it.
Screw With You Caperton's
Prankster in me
episode.
would
Just
love
guess
to
what's
do
in the
that.
glass.
Yeah.
A blue Slurpee.
Never
Wow.
know. Yep.
That's just gorgeous.
Great beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like these dry finishes too, man. They
Finished it
they keep
already.
you thirsty.
Super dry.
Yeah.
My last sip was the best.
Well, I'm a huge
I know.
fan of
I-
it.
My last sip was.
And I think it's easy to say that all of us are really loving this. The Cassis, we are rating a 5.
That funk, that sort of funkiness amped it up a little, gave it a little more.
Yeah, that was not more of the same. There was definitely something differentiating, there with that. Enough to kind of move us all to the next
Well,
step.
I think that's an example of how good they do as well, because, like you said, the base beer's there, so you can get the differences from the different fruits. Let's see if it continues with the next one.
Dum. All right, we're going to talk about Old Myrtille.
Myrtle.
I haven't had this one.
Now, this one is a big departure in color because it is a deep purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Purple Myrtle.
The Myrtille Sauvage is a 6.6% ABV.
This is fruit with beer.
So this is
pretty.
obtained from fermentation of frozen wild blueberries in young lambics, blended with 1, 2, and 3 year lambic to reach a final concentration of 200 grams of fruit per liter. This is different than their original, and they want to explain again that no Myrtille lambic was used to lower the ABV of the blend. And this was served for the first time at that beer fest in 2019 as well.
I think,
So there's that.
I think
Really?
Myrtle might have turned on us a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a blackberry soda.
Yeah, but it's just like a really...
Doc Brown's. Yeah.
A little sweet,
Blackberry
little
soda.
sweeter than the rest
Yeah.
of the ones we've had. Not much.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
I think this got away from him. I really think this is the fruit is just crushing the beer here, and not in a good way.
No.
There's a bitterness kind of in the middle of this, that is not working as well.
I'm getting a funky aftertaste that's not as pleasant as most.
Yeah, and,
digging it.
it kind of carries in the nose, too, a little bit.
You're right, though. It's
Almost like
definitely
a tonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not
Almost
a
like
bad
a
not
beer.
quinine.
terrible.
Like
Yeah.
almost like a quinine bitterness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish. Yeah.
It just doesn't stand up to the ones we've had so far.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have blended a little bit more of the older lambics in it.
Well, Old Myrtle, we're going to rate her a 3.
Wow.
Get it together, Myrtle.
Yeah, I think so.
We will be back with more Tilquin love in just a minute. Welcome back, everyone. So for those of you just tuning in, we are doing a brewery takeover.
Blend or
What, are you sure?
I know, I wanted to
Are you
say
sure?
a blending takeover,
Yeah.
but it's...
A blendery takeover.
I already
Yeah.
had that crisis. I resolved it.
Yeah.
We're just going to call it a brewery.
Okay. So, Tilquin is all over the table here.
It sure is.
And it is some
not yet.
glorious stuff.
It is.
It is.
Mike
well,
will take care of that soon. Don't
Right,
worry.
right.
So I had a topic worth discussing today, and it's actually about a future co-host of ours, very good friend of the show, and it was about a social media posting that she had thrown out.
One of many.
Yes. This is good old gal Michelle. We're going to talk about today. You'll get to hear from her.
She'll love this.
Yes. So she had posted this photo of her assembly of this nightstand, and she said she was so proud, except for the fact that she had a blister. And I'm looking at this nightstand, and I'm like, this thing you strap together with an Allen wrench and 4 pegs.
Ham locks.
It's like,
right?
Not that difficult. I mean, I've put together stuff from IKEA that, is like 3 easy steps, and
Actually made for delicate hands.
40 pages long, and you're doing the whole thing, with an Allen wrench going, why did they have to do this all day long? And you're sitting there twirling the
Do this
Allen wrench on your
400
finger,
times,
and 4 hours later you're going, wait, I got lost back over here, and part LL doesn't screw into BB here, and that I got the thing upside down. So I was looking at this, posting from Michelle, and she's like, I got a blister. And I'm like, from what?
Yeah.
What, did you get it from an Allen wrench? Cause I'm like, well, that's usually how you would put that stuff together. And she was like, no, I got it from a screwdriver. And I'm like, should we pray for you? I mean, it's like, where do you go with
So
that?
let me tell you this, Mike. It's best to mock good old gal Michelle from a distance like we're doing right now. Because despite her delicate ginger skin,
Oh, I've seen her
she
wrath.
can steal your soul.
Yes, I'm
like a
fully aware
slice
of
of
this.
your soul without even looking at you.
Well,
like
what-
she doesn't even have to look at you.
So
she
should
can
we,
be,
should
she
we
can
start-
be in the room and
Yeah.
suction it right out of your
So
body.
what
Should
do
we
you
start
think she
praying
was
for Mike
wanting
now?
from us? Like a pity party, or
She-
like congrats, you managed to put something
I
together?
think the congrats. I think the congrats. So in her
Good
defense,
job.
I do know that good old gal mom was helping her, which means that Michelle was doing everything.
Okay.
And Mom was like sort of the foreman.
And with that delicate ginger skin of hers,
yeah.
which she would love for us to be discussing.
Yes.
I see.
That's why they make power
very,
tools.
It's
Okay,
very,
but
yeah,
also in good old gal Michelle's defense,
She is a girl.
no, I wasn't going there.
Banned again.
You're banned.
I'm glad you stepped on that
once
landmine,
again.
not me.
No.
Yeah, well, somebody had to do it.
In good old gal Michelle's defense,
Yep.
her day job, she wears gloves a lot. And she and she wears thicker gloves. So when she's
They're sensitive skin.
I hope she's wearing those gloves when she smacks the crap out of me.
actually, well,
The best you can hope for is she'll
I
take
wouldn't
the
want to.
glove
I wouldn't
off
want her
and
to get a
smack you with
blister.
the glove.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I challenge you.
anyways, I'm happy
Farts in
for
your
her.
shit.
She does. Yeah. It's. She's a social gal.
I just didn't know exactly how to react to that.
You
I was
listeners are
like,
going to love her once we finally
Yes,
wrote
yes.
her.
So, but it was a funny moment, and I was just I enjoyed. I thought it was worthy of discussion. Anyway.
Mike
how
likes,
should you react?
Mike likes to start little wars with people on social media.
Yep.
Well, maybe that'll drag her on the show. Now
There's
she'll
a
go,
word for
I
that.
must
I can't
come back
remember.
and respond to this.
Michelle, come on to the show and defend yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
Defend your honor.
If nothing else.
Agenda.
Michelle, I'll hold him down for you. You can take him out.
All right. Just
Okay.
bring
Let's
it
hope
out.
he's not commando at the
Her
time.
work schedule's crazy.
I'll wear a mask. It'll be okay.
And blinders.
More beer.
Okay. Moving on.
Back to the beer.
Yes.
Lambic. I get you though. It's weird just calling this beer. It's more than beer.
It's more than beer.
It's more than beer.
It's yes. In the
I've
in
almost
the words.
developed a blister drinking these.
on my tongue.
Wow.
I just got that. I'm slow.
Wow. Almost in the words of Brian Ferry, this is more than
The
this.
same
Yes.
thing over and over again.
Okay, so let's talk about the Mûre.
Get that machine thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So this one is 6.4%. Again, spontaneously fermented beer obtained from the fermentation of fresh or frozen blackberries.
Blackberries.
Fresh or frozen, mind you. In young lambics blended with 1, 2, and 3 year lambics to reach a final concentration of 300 to 350 grams per liter of fruit.
I want to quickly point out that that may be the super fruited version you tasted. Is the young lambic that they infuse with, because the concentration with the 3 aged beers, you understand what I'm saying? They're making a super concentrated fruit beer to blend, and this is what we get.
Like,
Gotcha.
It's made from
So what you had
booze
at
made
the
from
Shelton
concentrate?
Fest may have been that super
Yeah, I don't know what the base was. Do you?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember them saying anything.
It says young
special.
lambic is what they're describing this beer.
Oh,
what
okay.
they use for the blending of all
Well,
of
this
these,
is definitely
all of these
blackberry.
beers. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tart.
Beautifully tart.
Oh man, good God.
But
It's good.
having it right after
It's really good. Yeah.
the Myrtle, it's a nice kind of pullback.
Yeah,
Total
it
change in
is.
perspective.
This puts the myrtle in
This
its
puts the
place.
this puts the beer back in the beer.
It is. It's
Yeah,
a
this
goose
is-
with fruit.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Golly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of other blackberry beers that we have. Again, especially in a sour beer, it's like what's going to be fighting with what.
Yeah.
Because the blackberry has such a distinctive, tart, and complex terroir about it almost.
Yeah.
That when you move it into a beer that it has some undertone of being sour or tart, it almost rails against the beer, sometimes. And not this time, though.
Yeah.
This is a great compliment.
It's like it can be like you're almost stacking tartness.
I would say that probably the thing I'm most impressed probably is which blackberries they source for this beer was probably the big thing, because I can think of blackberries from the South in the U.S. There is no way that they would use those blackberries with this
No.
beer. It would just obliterate the beer.
Yeah.
And I think that's really probably the better part was actually within the choice they made for which blackberries they were sourcing for this beer. Great beer.
it really is.
It's gorgeous.
The funkiness is there a little bit,
Sure.
like a
A
little
little bit.
hay, a little damp hay or something like that. So it doesn't distract you at all. This is just
the barnyard is subtle,
smooth, silky,
Yeah.
almost
Barnyard.
oily. The way it sort of coats your tongue.
Barnyard.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's and blackberries. They can be hit or miss, but this one is so delicate. I can't get over the delicateness of this because I always shy away from blackberries. Like I'd rather have a raspberry than a blackberry.
Yeah, I grew up here. Well, we have in the South. We have a lot of blackberries.
This is
Northern
one of the
folks don't
first
have them
times
as
I
much.
actually tried this beer. I don't think I've had it before. And
I don't
so,
remember it, but
Yeah,
I don't
it's
remember it
tasty.
being this amazing. Yeah.
And I think my first reaction was, "Oh, blackberries! Oh, I'm not going to like
really
this.
good.
This is just going to, be overwhelming."
It's almost too close to a raspberry for Mike.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, this is, and it lingers.
Yep.
Well, I
But
like
it's
how
a good linger.
they hedged their bets by
Yeah.
saying it could be frozen
Yeah.
or fresh
I need
blackberries.
more of the more.
Yeah.
More beer. More beer.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm like,
Oh, she lost herself.
Yeah.
no,
we
I'm
were going to rate it there for a second.
No. I'm swishing around. Like it's still there, and I'm really just enjoying.
Yeah.
It has a wonderful aftertaste. You're
Mirror-
right.
Yeah.
You just
mirror
get that
mouthwash.
berry flavor going
Yeah,
between
right.
No pretzel
It's
with
clean.
this one.
No. Oh gosh, no pretzel with this one. God, this is.
I would serve this one like maybe after dinner. Like a little dessert, kind of freshen things up. And
I'd serve this whenever I have an empty glass.
With like actually, if I was thinking of a great pairing, it would go well with just a flat out cheesecake.
Or
something-
a scoop of
Yeah,
vanilla
something
ice
that
cream. Come on.
very cheese forward.
That would be so
Even a
nice-
cheese fondue
like a goat
would
cheese,
work
too.
really well.
Lambic milkshake.
Yeah.
Some good mascarpone.
lambic.
Yes,
I'm American.
Go really well with it.
Yeah, the acidity and dryness with the fattiness and the creaminess of the cheese would just cut each other so well.
glass of this and some mac and
Okay,
cheese.
episode over. I know what I
something
need.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one we
Put a
rated.
number on it.
Yes. The Mûre, something like more is
Blackberry.
a 5.
Glass of Mûre and a grilled cheese sandwich.
So, a quick fun fact: play the moist.
Moist.
Did you know that the sound of the word saying moist is the most offensive word in the English language?
Apparently.
Yes.
Really?
Moist.
Look it up. I can't believe this is a fun fact that will get you ejected to the corner in any party that you attend.
Not safe for work. Moist is not
you know
safe
what they
for work.
say is the most comforting phrase in the American language?
What?
Love.
Cellar door.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. That's what I've heard. I mean, fight me.
Cellar door and then moist. Okay.
Got both ends there. So if you get
Caperton
moist,
and I
just
will-
think about the cellar door.
What
We'll,
if your cellar door was kind of moist? Think about that.
That would be. It would probably rip your brain. And
Next room that Caperton and I are working, we'll flip a coin to see who uses what words and what part of the party we get ejected from.
If you can work moist and cellar door into the same sentence in a conversation, you could see people go way up.
you could lose them and
Yeah.
bring them back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a balanced conversation?
It might be.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Moist.
Okay. Thank you.
Moist.
It's an educational beer show.
We're so educational.
Well, beer is moist.
Bring on the wine.
That's why we have good old boy Dave.
You might
His
have to open
scientific
your
observations.
You might have to
from good
open
old
your
boy Dave.
cellar door to get to your beer, which is moist.
I want to drink the next beer.
Just what they
Okay.
say.
Can we? Yeah,
Kendall's
we're
ready to
moving
move
on. Yeah.
Kendall wants to
Okay.
move on.
Let's rope
everyone.
it in.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Pinot Gris.
The Pinot Gris.
Yeah. So this is 8.4% ABV.
Wow.
Yes, ladies.
A lot of
and
sugar in
gents.
them grapes.
Yeah. It is made from the fermentation of 280 grams per liter of Pinot Gris grapes into the lambic, unfiltered, unpasteurized, unadulterated. This beer is re-fermented in the bottle.
Mike, you're the wine boy. Tell us about them Pinot Gris grapes.
So Pinot Gris is it's a white wine. It is generally an early harvest wine as well, so it doesn't have, maybe as much sugar, and it also grows in great volume. Pinot Gris is used as a blending grape, quite a bit. There are some varietals of Pinot Gris that are actually, sold as a varietal without being blended with anything, but not terribly popular in using it with either blending it with beer or even as a finishing barrel. So this is really kind of unusual that we would have, this particular grape that's being utilized with. I suspect that this this beer came about through this process. This is a vineyard that is owned by a family member that works for Tilquin, is what it is. And they went, hey, man, can you use some of my grapes in your beer?
I've got
that's how this went down.
1,000 pounds of
Another
grapes
lawsuit
that I
going on.
cannot
Yeah,
get.
I'm almost betting that's how it went. Or, it was the, brother of the ugly chick that they slept with last month that says, something like that, because I'm sorry, this does not work together. This doesn't do the beer any favors. I don't think it does the grape any favors. These are two things in my mind just do not belong together in the same.
I don't know,
guys
man.
are
I like it.
crazy. I like this beer.
Yeah.
I like it
I
too.
do not
bad,
agree. I
but-
do not agree.
It's not the Cassis and it's not the Mûre, but
It's
not,
grapey.
But it's definitely not Myrtle either.
No, but it's I do like this beer, and but I'm not a wine drinker, so maybe I know of a few beers that are made with the Pinot Gris, right?
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. If,
Yeah.
after tasting
Trillium
this,
has some beers that are
Yep.
amazing.
it can work, but after
From the-
tasting this, I would not go seeking a bottle.
No.
I probably wouldn't want to buy it again. I would buy another one of the Tilquins.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But
It's
Trillium is not made with Pinot Gris. That's a Chardonnay. Or a
they
Chenin Blanc.
have two actually
Yeah.
that I know of.
But
Well-
we're going to hustle up here.
Okay,
We
all
do
right.
have to.
All right, what are we rating this dog?
I say that we rated a 3.
Okay. Don't let that scare you away.
And then moving on to the Pinot Noir,
Lastly,
Quick.
8.2% ABV, 260 grams per liter of Pinot Noir. Again, unfiltered, unpasteurized, unadulterated. The Pinot grapes are organic grapes from Berger in Steinseltz. Originally, this beer was made for the 10th anniversary of the motor lambic. So there's that.
yeah.
And then the Pinot Noir grapes came from the Valentine Zuslin estate.
I like it. Kind of
So,
stone fruity.
I can, it's better than the Pinot Gris, but
Knew you guys were going to say that.
I-
I thought it was worse.
I feel the
It's still
same.
good.
I
Still good.
feel the same about it.
Okay. Whatever you guys say. I'm rolling with the homies here.
All right, we're going to go with a 4 for the Pinot Noir.
Great beer.
Sure.
That is going to wrap it up for today. God, what a great flight.
Great flight.
Fun. It was
Yeah.
super fun.
Okay, so we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Feeling moist.
If you're listening to us online, do yourself a favor and tap
it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo.
Pepperoni.
tap that subscription button.
Tap that.
The easiest way to listen to our show is to ask Siri, Alexa, Google, or Uncle Larry play podcast Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
Yes, we love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
I was not the ugly sister. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at SipSudsSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Mike's working on his reading too.
You'll be able to interact with the thousands of other fans on those social media platforms as well.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well.
Good Boy Kendall, please tell us about your blog.
My beautiful wife and I blog about the good news of good beer at beermakes3.com. Hang on.
Good old boy Dave.
Hey, follow me on Instagram at Good Old Boy Dave.
Good old boy Kendall.
It was a truly a pleasure to be here.
Good old boy Caperton.
As they say at Gueuzerie Tilquin, adieu.
Good old boy Mike.
Oh, the toucan beer was good. Y'all come back and see us and keep on sipping.
banned once again.
Of course.
But of course. This is good old gal Juliana. Don't be afraid to try any beer for that matter. Keep on chuggling and catch you next time.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.